All right. When we last left off, y'all were coming upon some sort of some sort of dark hamlet. Dark, obviously underground hamlet.
But dark even for the Underdark.
Oh yeah, like a lot of things are sort of falling apart.
Decrepit,
Oh
one might
yeah,
say.
and like there are more than the usual number of corpses just lying around.
What strikes Holt as odd,
Like some of,
especially since the vampires have been described as refined.
I mean, yeah, they get refined near the capital.
Mm.
Welcome to the burbs. Do not get stuck in the vampire burbs, or vampirbs as I call them.
Vampires.
I mean, like, they're not just lying around. There are a lot of crucifixions, hangings, and gibbets
Okay.
with
The
with corpses of
Portable
various races.
vampires.
Go
Portable
on.
vampires are usually portrayed as being kind of disgusting. I mean, like bloated with blood and, you know, really savage and kind of stupid. So.
I mean, those aren't the stories that I've heard, but go on.
Well, more the traditional ones.
Huh.
The pre-Anne Rice vampire.
Yeah, like Nosferatu. Nosferatu is not pretty.
Oh, excuse me. I thought we were in character.
Oh, sorry. No.
I mean, my mistake. I wasn't born yet.
Like, is Dracula?
Vampires have been pretty all my life.
But say, is Dracula
yeah.
described as being handsome?
I think so.
Intriguing, alluring.
Right.
Yeah, but and his wives are described as beautiful, but they're obviously barely sentient. And you know, certainly Lucy Westenefra, when she changes, is just not all there. Really, out of that book, Dracula is the only vampire that is anything resembling sane. I mean,
Right.
the others are just incompetent. Of course, given the time period, they're also female, which probably might have had an impact.
About to say that may have had something to do with it. Just like, you can't trust a woman to be a vampire.
Yep.
Get back in the kitchen, woman.
They're going to be
Get back
crappy
in
even
your
at being as
casket.
vampires.
Wow. Like what? Fuck. What? Some guy who claimed to be a super fascist, wrote a treatise about how, like, the reason that he was white was because that his spirit was transcendentally white. And, you know, spirits that were transcendentally white were born into white bodies to show that they were better. And I guess if you're a woman or a person of color, you're just transcendentally just a piece of shit. Just fucking worst.
Well, women don't actually have spirits, right?
I'm certain that is another theory of spiritual thought. One that I refuse to entertain, but will gladly laugh at.
Yeah. Well, traditionally, most for a lot of religions, there doesn't seem to be an afterlife catering to females.
Nope. So the Undead Berg.
Okay. All right. Now I'll be Slandra. Sorry, I was being Dave, who used to be a big fan of vampires back in his day.
Once upon a time.
Before they started to
Glimmer.
glow or whatever the hell. Glimmer, yeah.
They were supposed
That
to be
was it.
fairies. But fairies didn't poll as well in the, 15 to 21 demographic.
Pidge being an outlier and therefore not counted
Oh,
in her
Pidge,
love of the Fae.
Pidge, you don't count for anything. You're too far. You're too extreme.
None of the nice people who call on the telephone and are like, "Hey, I'm taking a survey," will ever want to talk to me.
So y'all follow this map. That's like, yep, this is where the vampire Great Undercity is, and you come upon this place.
All
What a
these
piece of
guys
shit.
are executed, basically.
That remains to be seen. Like executed or murdered. That is the question. But a lot of the structures here, like the image that I posted makes everything look like it's okay. It is not okay. Like a lot of the buildings are really worn down or literally falling apart.
Can we get a bit closer and see what the dead bodies, if they're vampires or?
They're probably not.
Who investigates the corpses?
I do.
Go with Clem.
Clementine, make a knowledge religion check.
You got it. Ugh.
How many ranks
Yeah,
do you
I
have
know.
in knowledge religion?
Oh, I was just moving my shit out of my lap because Monster wanted to be there.
Damn it, monster.
I'm walking over and looking at this too.
Okay. So there will need to be a heal and a knowledge religion. Cap, don't post that yet.
All right.
My bad.
It's okay. You haven't gotten to someplace that urbane yet.
I see.
Okay. So I don't have knowledge religion, but I can learn.
That's true.
33 on heal.
You like okay, so you're investigating these corpses and you find one of them that's just sort of like sitting in the gibbet, and you just like touch its leg idly, and it has a pulse.
This one's still alive, guys. Can I tell male or female?
No.
Okay. Help me get him down.
They're in a gibbet. There's no way to unlock it.
Oh.
So, gibbet is, I mean, you can cut the ropes, right?
No. A gibbet is a cage.
Oh, all right.
It's something like this.
Oh. Gotcha. Well, we could cut the metal.
Yeah, the creature looks more like in the image that I posted, but those are gibbets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
And
this is
they just
a
sort of leave
creature.
you in there until you die.
This is a creature in the gibbet, then.
It's something. Solandra, you investigate some of the other corpses hanged and crucified, and it becomes clear to you that some of them were mortal. I should mention these creatures like range very widely in race, from deep gnomes to what's the name of the frog people?
Gripples.
Oh.
Gripplies, from Svirfneblin to Gripplies. And some of them are
I'm thinking
mortal.
Kuatoa.
Oh, no, we do not talk about the Kuatoa. Unfortunately, they don't have any ocean to worship Bligdul Bloopin, so you don't need to worry about them. But some of them were mortal, but it's very clear that most of the corpses were actually vampiric. But the one that Clementine has found appears to still be alive.
Is it vampiric?
You know what? Yeah, yep, you got a 40. Yep, that's definitely a vampire in that cage.
Clem, that thing's a vampire.
I mean, we could ask them what's going on.
Clementine, make a wisdom check.
Clem,
What?
that's a starving vampire. If I don't miss my guess, don't get close.
Too late. She's already close. Of course, this thing is literally so starved. It seems to be like, if it has a desire to consume, it cannot enact that desire.
I got a 23 wisdom.
Yeah, if this thing is here, it must have committed some sort of crime.
I mean, what's considered crime to a vampire?
I don't know. Something
Mercy.
heinous.
I mean, we heard about the strange laws of the Drow. Who knows what sort of laws govern vampire society? We didn't exactly stick around to ask the small questions.
Anything that seems like it's a non-vampire that's still living in here?
Absolutely not. Everything that isn't a vampire died.
I'm keeping an eye out around this area. It's easy to get distracted by this stuff, but curious if anything is creeping up on us.
Make a passive perception roll. Some of the crucified individuals have been wrapped. Most of them have been nailed.
Make a passive perception roll, did you say?
Yeah. So just make a perception roll, and then if something tries to sneak up on you, you'll use
Okay.
that. But if you're busy perceiving, you won't be able to investigate anything else while you're keeping a lookout.
All right, 31 for now.
31. Yeah, so like as if the typical crucifixion wasn't a death sentence enough, those who have been nailed to the cross is either been shown as a sign of mercy or a sign of no, you absolutely have to die. Although Salandra got 40 under knowledge religion, those that have been nailed to the cross are generally vampires.
Makes sense.
Because otherwise they'd probably be able to break free. But I don't know if you've ever tried to break off a board when your hands have been nailed to it. It's hard to get good leverage.
Haven't tried it, don't want to.
Don't.
Mm-mm.
Have you considered not getting crucified? Holt, if you got crucified, you'd have to wait until you suffocated, and that would take literal days. Like weeks even.
Yeah,
Because, like,
Not to mention, he heals, so...
right.
I regen, I have endurance.
Yeah, because, like, basically you would be pushing your body to the limits of its mortal endurance, and then at that point your arms would go slack. And because of the way you're hung during crucifixion, if your body goes slack, you can't breathe, and then you would suffocate and die. But even if they nailed you to this thing, that would not be able to kill you. You wouldn't bleed enough.
Yay!
And no matter what, being crucified is like being put in a full Nelson. You don't have the leverage to break out easily.
No.
Anyway. So
I
what do you
gesture
guys...
to this vampire again. Say, this seems like our only way of knowing what happened here.
I mean, you could investigate some of the houses.
Vampire or not, I don't feel right just leaving them to die like this.
It's contained in that cage right now. If we let it out, it's going to attack us.
It's probably not going to even talk without some sustenance.
That's the thing. You would have to feed it first. And if you fed it, it might grow strong enough to escape.
I mean, how much would we have to feed him?
A lot.
It's not a matter of you feeding. It's probably a matter of me.
It's
Hulk,
not
do you
just
consent to
doesn't-
feeding this random anonymous vampire?
I do not.
Ah, shit. Well, that's that, guys.
That's that.
It's they don't
Convince
just
me.
drink. They don't just drink blood. They do more than that. It's taking a portion of your life force, a portion you can't get back easily.
Yeah, it's not worth it to me.
All right, let's look around here more, see what's happened. But if we don't end up letting it out, we should just
Put it out of its misery. Okay.
yeah.
I'm alright
Yeah.
with that. Before
How
we
is
go
it
any
being?
further.
Actually, I'm gonna drop my. Hey, Clem, can you keep an eye out for anyone who might be sneaking up on us? I want to check something.
Mhm.
I'm gonna use my arcane sight. I'm curious. Vampires can assume a gaseous form. I know that much. How are they being pinned down?
It becomes apparent to you that these are either so weak they're incapable of assuming the gaseous form, or they are vampire spawn, which do not have the gaseous form.
So they don't have. It's not like there's any particular magic here that's binding them.
No,
Okay, I just wanted to check because if there's something, could be useful.
they were evidently pre-starved and then shipped out here to suffer.
Right. Put on the goggles. Start looking around.
As you go further into town, you hear something.
Oh boy.
Oh, fuck. Oh.
I don't like that. I don't like that, Reynolds.
No, 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 no.
You guys just reacting to the saloon music thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, just curious. Wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something.
No, Dave, I'm just as confused as you.
It's eerie.
Yeah, look, I don't know where the rest of y'all are coming from, but I've seen Westworld, and I know what happens with this shit.
I've seen Westworld too. Yeah.
Yeah? Tell Cap he needs to watch it.
It is fabulous.
I know I need to watch it. I have the attention span of a goldfish.
Okay, listen, next time we see Jeff, we'll hit him up and get you a little natural expansion attention.
Now you're talking my language.
Is this some sort of chemical thing you're talking about?
No,
No.
Dave, it's natural. So we find that we hear some
This is on recording.
Oh.
So, just
Mm-hmm.
saloon music.
So we find the saloon music.
Where is this saloon? Is it deeper into the town?
Yes. The music is very faint.
Okay.
I mean, bold
where's
of
the
you
pa-
to assume that there's actually a saloon.
Clem, do you have the papers?
Mhm.
Are the papers for each of us, or is it all in Clem's hands?
I think it's all in Clem's hands. Just one letter of writ.
Mhm.
An inflammatory writ, even.
But I
I guess.
put the papers like in my breast pocket, so they're right there.
Holt's going to hand you a scroll, Solandra. Just in case. It's a scroll of
That's
death
it?
ward.
Okay. Could come in handy.
Exactly.
What do I need to roll on my use magic device to make a scroll work?
Depends on the level of the scroll. Or the level of the spell?
It is a level 4 cleric spell.
Got it. So in order to use a scroll, the DC is 24.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah. And I think if you fail by 10 or more, the scroll gets ruined. Yeah. But if you don't, you just don't do it.
Yeah, I succeed on an 8 or better, so it's not too
Yeah.
bad.
So yeah, there's no way to ruin the scroll, but you could be like, what the fuck? God damn it, what is this divine magic bullshit?
Yep, basically that's the problem.
But do you go further into the undead hamlet?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do you follow the sound of the saloon music or avoid it?
Follow it.
Sounds good. You come
I think it's our best
upon
lead.
a well-lit saloon. There is a skeletal horse tied to a pole outside. It is trying to walk away from the pole, and it is digging a ditch with its bony hooves.
Sorry, what's tied to the pole?
A skeletal
skeleton
horse.
horse.
I approach the skeletal horse.
At least it's not a fucking zombie.
It does not seem to notice you at all.
I acknowledge nature?
No. Knowledge religion. Undead is all knowledge religion.
Damn, don't have any of that.
You succeed on your knowledge nature roll. This is used to be a horse.
This was a horse at one time. I'm gonna, I look over to Salandra and Holt. I'm gonna untie him.
It's not. Most skeletons are just things. They're not really entities anymore. They're just a little bit of magic wrapped around a bones.
Wrapped around the bones.
Maybe, but that little bit of magic wrapped around those bones looks like it's suffering.
It looks like it was given a command to go, and not a command to stop.
About to say,
Exactly.
the undead, like, literally speaking, the undead can't suffer anymore. Because they're not alive.
Some of them can.
That's
but these
true.
guys are, yeah. I mean, I think ghouls and gas suffer a whole lot. And,
That's true.
know.
But your typical zombie or skeleton, like, they don't suffer. Zombies occasionally get hungry, but it's not like it's not like a hunger that goes away. It's not a hunger that makes sense. It's just a desire to put things in your mouth hole. Skeletons especially, they don't suffer at all.
It's basically like a golem.
Right.
Just happens to be, animated with a slightly different type of energy.
I mean, I wouldn't animate a golem and tell it to dig itself into the ground.
You wouldn't.
I mean, even Grub's golems, which kind of freaked me out.
While you're having your conversation, you are interrupted. Do y'all have philosophical discussions about every fucking undead horse you find?
We don't run into
To
many.
be fair, this
so-
one's the first.
Who is addressing us?
That,
A skeleton barkeep?
apparently. He is very well dressed.
Is this your horse?
What? Fuck no. I don't know whose
Is he
horse
behind-
it
Is he behind the bar?
is. No.
Or he stepped out?
Yeah, he stepped out to the saloon doors. The saloon seems to be in decent repair. It's also, I was gonna say well lit. It's not well lit. It is lit. Let me put it that way.
It's more lit
fam.
than the dark tunnels we've been traveling thus far.
Exactly.
So, at a guess, this skeleton's animated by a particular spirit that has sentience.
Oh God, no. Oh, the barkeep? Yes. He does appear to be sentient. But yeah, somebody asked, "Is this your horse?" And he said, "Oh fuck no." It's not mine, so I can't make it stop. I don't remember who it belonged to. It's been trying
How
to
long it's
walk
been
away for a while.
Holt shrugs.
I'm going to untie the horse.
Aw, but I like it there. And besides, what if its owner comes back for it? It won't be here.
Then they're a neglectful owner and they shouldn't have a horse. Horses are a lot of work.
All right, fine. Do whatever you want.
I untie the horse.
You untie the horse. It doesn't buck. What's that thing where it jumps on its hind legs? Is there a special term
Rears
for that?
up.
It rears up, and goes running, smashes into a house, smashes through a brick wall, and then gets stopped by the second brick wall, and the ceiling collapses in on it, and it gets fucking destroyed.
Oh.
See? That's what you get for interfering. If more people would mind their own business, then nothing would happen, and everything would be fine.
Well,
I feel like that's untrue, but I also feel like no one was living in that house.
Yeah, but someone might have been later, and someone definitely used to, I think. Do you want
Is there
something to drink
anyone-
or not?
Is there anyone
Yeah.
else in the saloon?
Do you ask him?
Yeah.
It depends.
This town seems
on
fucking
what
empty as hell.
Oh, yeah, totally empty. Sort of. I mean, I mostly tend bar as a matter of, I don't know, it would feel wrong not to.
It's a matter of habit.
Right.
I understand.
I am a creature of habit. Yeah, mostly this place has been annexed as a penal colony, basically. It doesn't really matter much. There wasn't anybody living here anyway.
Well, I would love to hear all about it.
Oh, well, come on in. Perhaps I can interest you in some of my fine imbiberies. Potent potables I have. Aged to perfection.
Oh, I believe you.
Before we step in, anyone in there we should be aware of?
Not really. I think I call him Dave. I don't think Dave will do anything. Dave ain't done nothing in a long time. Like, he says as if he does not understand, like, how time works. Like, how long has it been since Dave did something?
how long is a time?
I don't exactly recall. And I mean, there are a couple of spirits and ghosts, but just, like, don't spit on them or whatever. They mostly keep to themselves. Oh, and cry. They cry a lot. But I mean, who ain't here to drown their sorrows?
They say this place is a fucking penal colony.
Yeah.
So we saw the gibbets and the crosses. Anyone wandering around free range?
Oh, no, I don't believe so. This is the place where they stop moving.
Right, good to know.
And then someone, I think, must put them up on the cages or hang them, I think.
How often do new ones show up?
Oh, there used to be a whole bunch. A while ago. Not so much these days. But every once in a while, you see one of the half-starved walk into the cages and shut the door on itself. And a little while ago, a whole shipment of little people came in, and they got hanged. It's been the most important day since I can remember.
Sounds like the geese, maybe. On the ones that shut themselves into the cage.
Geese?
That makes sense.
No, we ain't served that here since we were surfaced.
Interesting.
So is there actually a fleshy eye in one of his sockets?
Yes. The
I
image
look in-
depicts exactly what he looks like.
I look in the other socket. Is there anything in there, or is it an empty chamber?
It is an empty chamber. There are some cobwebs and dust inside.
Okay. Is there anything in there, or is it an empty chamber?
There are some cobwebs and dust inside. Honey, I'm all into eye contact, but you're going to have to buy me a drink before I bed you.
With,
Get it, Sal? Wants
Yeah,
to
yeah.
bone you. What do you got behind the bar, friend?
He has behind the bar bottles labeled as they are there: wonder, pride, guilt, greed, wrath. They're not. They don't seem to be alcohols. They seem to be like emotions.
Emotions?
Yeah.
oh, fuck.
Also, so like there is Dave, who is a skeleton. You're not sure if he is animate or unanimate. He is naked and like he is sat in a chair and just like face down on the table. No, not face down on the table, but like he's like up against the table and his head is turned. One of his arms has fallen off. And the piano is being played by two zombified hands that are dancing across the keys.
All right, so the process by which you extract distill emotions into a bottle, is a pretty evil one. If I'm not missing my guess.
Oh, I ain't the distiller. I'm just the server.
Hmm.
All
No,
these-
this is a question I have for DM. Sorry,
Oh,
this is just Salandra's.
I mean, like potentially they could be homegrown emotions. You don't know how that process would work, but it would probably be like easiest and cheapest to just sort of distill the emotionality out of like living beings.
Guilt. Don't think any of us need any more of that.
Oh, I've had plenty.
I would stay away from all this crap. It's someone else's emotions. That's, yeah, that's very personal shit.
So are you
Or
saying you don't take
it should be-
lovers? Are you an island unto yourself, little lady?
Nope. But I don't want to be feeling their explicit emotions or taking their explicit emotions.
I think they've already been taken.
Also, you experience other people's emotions all the time.
Not
Everybody
inside my own
does.
body.
Really? You have never, then my lady, I guess you don't have an empathetic bone in your body, and for that, I'm sorry for you.
I can guess what other people are feeling. I can have some resonance with other people feeling. That's still my own emotions, my own interpretation of it.
Are they?
This is different.
How do you know that sympathy pain isn't actually what someone else is experiencing psychically transmitted into your own body?
Because I'm pretty good at the fucking esoteric arcana stuff.
But you don't actually know. You think, therefore, you are, or you're being manipulated by a force outside your control or understanding that thinks in such a way to make you think that you, therefore, are.
You know something? For all we fucking know, we're just some mindless bots being manipulated by extra-dimensional entities that are controlling our every move.
Exactly.
But I have to fucking assume that I have free will.
Of course, you have to. You have to act as if you have free will. Otherwise, you wouldn't do anything, and that wouldn't be very fun. But similarly speaking, you could very well act as if these were sympathetic emotions given freely. Who knows? Maybe they were. Or maybe they were horrifically extracted from some terrible screaming wretch. You don't know.
Do you know?
Oh, absolutely not. I keep my head out of that business.
Bolt's gonna take a seat at the bar. Are you standing in the doorway?
No, I'm in the bar. Just not taking a seat yet.
I keep looking back over at the collapsed horse area.
I'm looking around at the ghosts and spirits that the barkeep mentioned.
I'm about to say, there are a few. For the most part, they're just sort of like unformed humanoid-esque shapes.
None of them are really defined with any features.
No. Most of them just sort of mill about, looking generally miserable.
Fair enough. So they're not the talkative sort?
Kind of like the shades from Hades.
Ah, gotcha.
They obviously consort with each other, but they don't seem to have any attention for you.
That's fair.
So, what can I do you for?
Your stock.
Welcome to Balerno, the penal colony of Penzance.
It has a nice ring to it.
Balerno? Or Penzance?
Penzance.
Yeah, it's gone through a couple of different names, but they settled on Penzance last. I don't exactly recall what the other names were.
Might have been before your time.
I don't know. I've been here for, and like just whenever the abstract concept of time shows up in his language, he just sort of like stops what he's doing for a minute, stops cleaning that one dirty glass, and just sort of like stares out for a minute, and then continues what he was saying. Sort of like it sort of like dodges the question, just like, no, I've been doing this for a while. And the
so
next
the folks
word,
at Penzance, go ahead.
Right, and like the word that follows it is always sort of like confused, just like, oh yeah, that happened, a long time ago. He does seem to have some sort of vague impression of age and years. Like there are things that happened very recently, a little while ago, a long time ago, a very long time ago, and oh shoot, I can't remember.
So I'm using my arcane sight to sort of look around this whole place.
Those bottles are very magical.
I figured.
And, you know, this place is sort of suffused with magic. The lights are actually just regular mundane candles. But, you know, there are more sort of invisible spirits and shades communing and collaborating, but apparently those are the only three that wish to be seen.
So the folks at Penzance run this place from afar?
Oh, not really. I think I own it. Well, it sort of runs itself, you see. We don't get too many traders coming through here, but I intend to service those who do. Sort of. I mean, I got drinks. I got that. I don't really have any food to eat. I mean, well, all right. I have calories that can be consumed. Let me put it that way. And I do have a couple of bottles of the old vintage for discerning clientele. For those who wish to travel abroad.
What you rolling for, babe?
Oh, just choosing between a couple of different things. I do that sometimes.
Which bottle to drink?
Oh, I already know that. It's just
We know all the guilt.
It's, I mean,
I
no.
can't escape it.
Hmm. Well, I am a man of my word, and I said that I would purchase one of your drinks, good sir.
Very well then. What's your poison, partner?
Hmm.
Interesting choice of words.
I've, in the past, had a chance to sample liquid pain, so perhaps today calls for liquid courage.
Ah, literal courage as opposed to the figurative variety. Now then, will you pay in blood or coin?
Coin.
Very well then. 2 gold pieces, my fine man.
I slide 2 gold pieces across the bar.
He puts them in the pocket of his apron, grabs a bottle of labeled courage off of the shelf, pours you a shot of courage, and says, "Drink up, partner."
I look to the other two, wanting to see if they are considering me with some horror.
Clem gives you a little bottoms up gesture.
The liquid within is orangish red and seems a little fizzy.
To new experiences.
Someone else's.
And I down it.
No sooner than does the liquid reach your lips that it disappears. You have consumed nothing, but you do feel inordinately courageous.
Hmm.
You are the subject of a heroism spell.
Heroism, I love that.
I mean, for lack of a better mechanical expression of what has just occurred. It's not like the regular heroism spell. You felt heroism before. This feels, a little bit more blustery, a little bit more foolhardy.
Oh, that's a nice little pick-me-up.
Ain't it?
Really is.
I suppose those things are very useful for creatures that don't have the ability to experience emotions directly.
That they are. Very many of my kind find it incapable of feeling certain feelings that they felt before their unfortunate demise. So the city of Penzance is more than willing to offer those experiences for a modest fee.
So do you report to anyone? Do you have a boss?
I think so. I mean, there is someone who I give my profits to, both blood and coin, but now that I think about it, I can't remember who it is. I just sort of give it
I
to
take
the
a look at
messengers when they arrive.
I meet his fleshy eye very directly, and I am using my arcane sight. Is someone looking through there?
No. Not to your knowledge. Make a spellcraft roll.
That's a 43.
It is not a clairvoyance spell. It seems to be just something that indicates that this skeleton is more alive than other skeletons. Like Dave over there is like some sort of regular skeleton. He might just be a fucking corpse. Unknown. He has a very mild magical aura, but people end up with mild magical auras for anything. He may have simply been a wizard when he was alive. But no, this bartender is more prescient than most skeletons that you'd find. And that eyeball is part of that. He does still seem like you realize his inability to recognize time and a lot of other things, like are indicative of his not so prescient abilities. Like, he's able to be personable and carry on a conversation and like talk at length and be friendly, but when it comes to like topics outside that, he's like utterly incapable. Like, Who's your boss? I don't exactly recall. When did that happen? Oh, a long time ago. Like if you asked him what history was, like he just wouldn't remember. And like it's very obvious that Dave is not the skeleton's name. He just sort of ended up naming it.
I just keep thinking of that SpongeBob episode with "We threw out his name."
We threw out his name.
That's me every time I meet a new person.
That's only because you have like 2 aliases.
No, I forget other people's names.
Oh, I thought you were referring to your own. You shake hands and they're like, "Hi, I'm Samuel. What's your name?" Pidge Molly.
That's why I go by Pidgey, because that way I can put both sounds in.
I love you.
But yeah, this guy seems to have some problems. Like, he also didn't remember who used to own the horse, and he didn't seem to have, like, the free will or desire to let it go. That sort of thing. Like, he is a skeleton.
Sentience is pretty... The sentience is pretty... he is like one of those Turing test boxes.
Right. Like, he is a skeletal bartender. Like, speaking of what Pidge was saying, like, if it wasn't vital to bartending, they threw it out. Empty your mind of everything except bartending.
And breathing. Never mind, you don't have to do that one.
Name. We gotta have a name. Fuck. I feel like a lot of the early SpongeBob episodes were meant to be like an adult television program that just like didn't fly, and they're like, what if we made it for kids? And then they took out some of like the raunchier stuff.
That makes sense.
And then they went like full kid.
There's so many adult humor jokes and concepts though in SpongeBob.
Right.
I mean, like, Lord, just SpongeBob trying to get his driver's license, like.
SpongeBob, why? Anyway.
So as this is going on, Clem sort of starts drifting back outside.
That's fine. He's not paying attention. Nor does he care.
She is headed back to the vampire.
Got it.
Yeah, Holt's just gonna make idle small talk with the bartender if you want to switch to Clem.
Oh, I have things for Clem. Damn it, none of this is what I'm looking for. Ah, fuck, it's the name of an anime. Of course there's nothing for it. There we go.
I'm just giving the bar one more once over, and then if I notice, if Clementine's not trying to leave stealthily, I'll notice her go. I'm perceptive enough.
I would say Solandra would notice her go. She's not trying to like, you know when you're playing like an Elder Scrolls game and you're in disguise, and they won't let you sneak because it'd be too conspicuous? She's doing that. Like when you're a little kid and you're in a conversation like next to your parents who are talking to other adults and you're bored, so you just kind of phase out of the conversation. She does one of those.
Mm. Well, I figure she's the vampire comes to mind, so I'm gonna go and make sure that she has backup. As I start to leave, I just walk over, nudge Holt.
Hmm?
I move my head look over towards the door. And you probably know at this point that Clementine's not in the room anymore. And
Oh, hell.
I'm gonna go. You can stay here if you want. I'll be back.
No, I'm... I think splitting up is a bad idea.
So Clem, you go ahead of the rest of the group,
Mm-hmm.
and you go back to check out that vampire and the gibbet.
Yep.
But you were interrupted when this guy shows up on some sort of weird undead horse.
Oh.
Ah, one of the blooded. Stable my horse. Make way for my arrival. Make any due announcements to the people therein.
Right.
It actually
Hello?
looks like Daedric armor.
What was that
Looks
pitch?
like a fucking badass. Clem just kind of goes, right. Hello?
Yes. Blooded. Tiny slave. Take my horse.
Oh, I give a little bow. Say right away.
Thank you. I'll let your owner know of your dimness.
I smile and take the reins.
He dismounts and like begins paying attention to the vampire that you had been paying attention to. Like he
I
draws...
give the horse a slap on its ass.
It doesn't move or do anything.
What? I thought it would run, bastard.
Did you just strike my horse?
No.
Dead.
You totally struck my horse. Clementine, make a will save.
I love my cloak of resistance.
Yeah, you do.
Let's see.
Oh, God.
39?
39?
Yep.
Fuck.
I get a plus 20 to my will save.
Fuck my gay life. Jesus Christ. Not what I was looking for. Anyway, it's at this point the rest of you arrive. Ooh, star vampire. Woo!
Do I want to know?
Oh, baby Jesus. Holy fuck. Okay. God damn. Anyway. So, yeah, the rest of you see this going on, and you're like, what? Who's this guy?
So I pat the horse's nose and look at the caged vampire. Yo, so what'd this one do? In an extremely familiar tone, like chatting with your buddy.
He just looks at you, and he looks at the two of you. Excuse me, do you know who owns this one?
Yeah, she owns herself.
I'm just showing the papers. Make things a little easier.
Fine. I produced the papers.
Oh, why didn't you do that before? Gracious.
Thought it'd be
Wait.
more fun to fuck with you a little bit.
You belong to a drow house?
Yeah, and I just kind of hold up the back of my hand and gesture to my complexion.
Oh! Very well then. That being said, I will let House Luerta know about your insubordinate behavior.
Oh, they already know.
Oh.
Why do you think I'm here?
Oh. Right.
So,
Anyway,
this guy.
her bloodline is over.
Hmm.
All there is to it. If your bloodline ends, you get sent away. It helps encourage the servants to protect the master.
So, and I gestured to everyone. So all of these, blooded, were all slaves or servants of this one?
No, they resisted.
Hmm.
He doesn't specify what they resisted against.
Sometimes the act itself is enough.
Exactly. And so they were drained, brought out here, and propped up, as a sign to all others who enter our fair kingdom.
But no one lives here anymore. Other than, the barkeep.
No.
Lives is probably not the best word.
Do you generally keep a lot of people at a way station?
I mean, usually little towns will pop up around. Like a mill, even a disused one.
That assumes that we require the living to perpetuate. You see, I understand. Your people grow mushrooms, and then those people eat the mushrooms, and then wherever the mushrooms grow quickly, people gather around. We don't have to do that. Set it and forget it. Make a skeleton or a zombie or something, and it will do all the work for you.
Sounds boring.
It leaves... That's the thing. You people have to worry about politics and all of this hard work. I and my people do not.
So where do you get your sustenance then?
We get it from the slaves, of course. I'm sorry, he doesn't call them slaves. He calls them thralls. It's more dehumanizing. What's that line from the pit from Fallout 3? Call them workers.
Never played Fallout 3.
Oh man. When you go to the pit, there are a bunch of slaves that run Pittsburgh that are imported from the capital wasteland. The slaves that get imported from the capital wasteland get sent up to Pittsburgh, where there's a disease that makes it so nobody can have children. When you walk into Asher's office after you gather a bunch of steel ingots and win a blood sport against dying slave masters, someone's like, "Boss, Asher, I think the slaves are planning something," and he says, "Call them workers. It's better for morale." And just like, ugh. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, they have a similar gag in Thor Ragnarok.
Right, don't say the S word.
Yeah, the prisoners with jobs.
Yep. But yeah, and he says, that's what the thralls are for. Someday Zernikainen will understand that we are simply superior. That day is not today.
So how does a bloodline end?
A bloodline ends when the master is killed.
I am using message quietly to both Clem and Holt.
Sounds good. You can tell by my noble disposition that I am a member of House Ravenkind.
Sorry, one more time. House Raven.
Ravenkind.
Cool. I just kind of give a little shrug and just go on. Ignorant of the politics and the houses and why you call slaves thralls. And
Because they're not really slaves. They don't have to do anything. We have the skeletons and the zombies to do that. They're just there for the blood that they produce. They're free to live out their lives in ignorant small pleasures, just enough to keep them distracted. And in exchange, we take our tax. Do not say that we are not benevolent shepherds.
You're very far below the surface here.
Yes?
Do you ever need to refresh your flock?
No, the Great Exodus occurred a very long time ago. Now, through proper breeding and shipments from the Drow, we have no need for such surface raids any longer.
What about to visit the surface for other purposes?
Those who wish to visit the surface may do so of their own volition, but they risk being caught up by the sun. Only fools go to the surface. Or perhaps those desperate to die.
Seems an unnecessary risk.
Are those potent enough to survive whatever they may encounter there?
Everybody roll a sense motive.
Okay.
oh,
A
Bots.
7.
an
36.
unnatural 20.
Salandra and Clem, you two figure out that this guy speaks so dismissively of the surface because he is not high enough on the ladder to know what's important up there.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Like, it's pretty
Confirms
clear.
what Salandra said.
Yeah, like, it's pretty clear that this guy is like, oh no, man, the surface is dangerous. The sun is up there, and that kills us. But you guys live up there. You know there's a bunch of people and magic stuff and all sorts of cool things. Things that you can't get down here.
There's prizes up there.
There's so many fucking prizes.
Clem gestures back to the dying vampire. Yeah. Now, and then she just kind of gives a smile because, as you astutely observed earlier, that I'm a bit dim, but you said a bloodline ends when the last member is murdered, and this one's still alive.
No, when the master is killed. She
The
failed to
master's
protect.
not a transferable. It's not one master dies and a new one comes to take their place?
I mean, eventually, yes, but it's not. That's not how that works. There is the head. There's the head of the clan, and then if that head dies, the rest of the body dies with it. We make sure of that.
And that's what these are for.
Yes. It lets everyone know that they should protect their head at all cost, even at the cost of their own life. For dying in battle in glorious defense of the head of your clan would be better than being reduced to this.
But
he takes out his
why
sword
is-
and bashes it against the cage. The creature inside, like, shudders a little bit and, like, gently lifts herself away from the side that he bashed.
But why is it so important to protect the master? I mean, if all you have to do is enjoy your thralls and let the skeletons and the zombies do the work. Why does a master have any more value than any other?
Because they created us. We are beholden to them.
So they control you. So you're all sort of thralls.
Hold your tongue. I am a servant, not a thrall. I'm not some blood slave to be traded away. I can't be traded away. I am a member of the clan, and that can never be taken away from me.
I mean, maybe not for you, but surely you've had exiles and excommunicados.
No, we haven't. Clementine, you said it yourself. He's controlled.
Oh, fair enough.
Like, he can't...
So he can't disobey.
He can. I can't. You do not understand the dark side of the Force. I cannot disobey my master.
Cool.
Clementine, the shape of this society is becoming more and more clear, and it looks a lot like a pyramid.
Pyramid scheme.
There's
Your old high school friend messages you on Facebook. Hey, how's it been? You heard about vampire?
You heard about vampirism? If I turn you into one of my blood thralls, then eventually, when you gain the kiss of the damned, you too can accumulate your own blood thralls. So, yeah, like the shape of the society is becoming clear as the conversation goes on. So, one vampire usually comes from the surface, or is somehow able to slip the noose when a bloodline is destroyed, and then they establish their own bloodline by creating their own vampires. Which means they need to find notable and strong individuals, because weak humans merely turn into vampire spawn. And then those spawn can create lesser undead creatures like zombies. And then at the bottom of it all, holding everything up, is the sheer quantity and volume of blood thralls, upon which they all require sustenance. They require 4 sustenance.
So where do the masters come from?
Like, he shakes his head like they've always been there. Save for the ones who have been wiped out. There's always someone ambitious to get their place.
Well, it sounds like the best job. How do you... I mean, is it the kind of thing where you kill a master and then you become the master?
No, oh my goodness gracious, no. Such sacrilege would be punished by final death. And would also be impossible. I would never be able to... I would never consider harming my clan head. But if I did feel the tiniest pang of such desire, I would be utterly incapable of acting on it.
What about a rival clan? Could you kill a rival master for your master?
Oh, absolutely.
And do those clan wars happen often?
What do you mean, clan wars? That is simply the dance macabre. It is never ending.
Oh. Clem gives a shrug. You're longer lived than I am.
The wars between... the conflicts and alliances between clans Palgor, Mirish, Brownbow, Ravenkind, and Kaicheg go on forever, into time immemorial.
I point to the dying vampire. What clan was this?
Oh, Mirish. I'm sorry, I already noted Mirish. My bad.
Oh, no worries.
Harhall. And Lord Harhall is no more.
How'd they die?
Uh, I don't know. They were executed. Probably killed by Clan Ravenkind and their lands appropriated.
Well, fair enough. So it's not really public knowledge then.
I mean, it's very difficult to trace this sort of thing. You understand. I have much more important work to do than keep track of... instead of keeping track of politics. That is for my Lord Ravenkind and his series of schemers to do. I don't do the scheming. I do the killing.
Yeah, fair enough. That makes sense. I gesture around. You do this?
More or less.
More or less than more.
Excuse me?
Just curious.
What did you say? I thought you said you mean more of
More-
less instead of more?
More or less than more.
Right.
Implying that, well, when someone says more or less, pretty much means no a lot of the times.
Right. More or less. Right, so you mean no. Got it. Now then, if you don't mind, I have earned myself some well-deserved rest and relaxation. I guess I'll attend to my own horse. That's what I get for taking a vacation out to the boonies.
I give the horse a little kiss.
The horse does not appreciably respond. You succeed on your heel check. This horse is dead. It tastes like dead horse. Ew.
Ew.
Gross.
Yucky.
Oh man, at work today. So
I cannot possibly
Speaking
imagine
of
what
dead
this is
horses.
segueing
speaking
into.
of dead horses, so like we got a whole bunch of canned goods, and one of the packages had a whole bunch of little cans of SpaghettiOs on it, and one of the
Okay.
cans had been busted open by something, and it just had mold and just like white
Oh.
fuzzy stuff growing out of it, and I was like, ah, fuck, that sucks. And the whole rest of the can palette smelled real bad, so I was like, ah, man, that fucking moldy SpaghettiOs is all in the air. That sucks. But it kept smelling really bad after I threw the moldy SpaghettiOs out. But, like, you know how it is. Just, like, moldy
Like
food.
it gets stuck in your nose.
Yeah, moldy food just sticks around forever. But, as it turned out, there was a can of clams that had also been busted open.
Oh no!
A huge, gigantic, like, forearm-sized can of clams.
No!
Yes. And the thing was,
No!
the opening was just black. And,
No.
like, the paint was peeling off of the label. And it stank up the whole kitchen and storeroom for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you're going to be enjoying the smell of bleach for a little while after that.
Yeah, no. Because, like, those canned goods, like, they don't get canned recently. Like, those canned goods, like, sit in a warehouse for a long time. Who knows when that thing was busted open? It may have been busted open for months.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Who wants some month-old clams?
No one, literally no one, not even the bugs.
Not even the bugs will eat it.
Ugh.
Behold.
Well, on that note, I'm gonna run downstairs and grab myself a couple more slices of pizza. BRB.
How
Behold.
can you eat after that?
Hunger waits for no end.
That's true. Also, behold, the brave Gripply defends its young from the terrible fire skeleton.
I'm just finding all sorts of good things.
But yeah, it has become clear over the course of that conversation
No, I'm okay.
that this vampire
Okay,
guy,
have I done them?
like, knows quite a bit, but he's also purposefully left in the dark. He's important enough to act like this, especially in the boonies, but he's not important enough to know anything.
Been sizing him up for the length of this conversation. What is he armed with?
He is armed with 2 magical short swords. His armor looks magic, and he has a magic cloak.
Okay.
And he does seem to be like a relatively skilled warrior. And when I say
Yeah, he
relative,
looks like the warrior type.
yeah, like when I say relatively skilled, I mean like, you know, a couple levels ago he would have been a threat. Not anymore.
Basically, I was just trying to assess pushover or above my pay grade.
Oh, definitely pushover. Like, you could take him, the 3 of you would destroy him. Of course, that would probably make Lord Ravenkind a little bit upset to hear that one of his most ardent servants had been destroyed.
Assuming that Lord Ravenkind gives a shit.
Oh, Lord Ravenkind definitely gives a shit.
Alright.
That being said, Ravenkind's enemies, or if he has any, and he does, they would be very appreciative.
I, personally, am of the sort to stay on Ravenkind's good side, if only because I know how to spell that name.
Right.
Yes, I have been writing these down as you say them.
Good.
I missed one, and of course it's going to be the most important one, I know it.
Oh my.
We'll see.
I will post the 5 names.
Oh, God bless you.
Wah.
Thank you. That's not how I spelled any of them, but... And... where now? Reynold MVP, making my notes easy, so I can help you later.
I'm about to say, I'm really just doing this for myself.
Oh, hey, cool news. Madeline Miller's book Circe is going to be on Amazon. Not Amazon.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That's a good book.
It was, and I am terrified of HBO getting their grubby little paws on it. But
Who's doing it? Is it HBO?
HBO, yeah.
Wow, HBO's done some fantastic stuff, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
have you
just
seen
afraid.
Chernobyl yet?
I have not, but it looks so good.
It looks
It
too
is.
sad for me.
It's not. It's sad, but it's not. It's not a tearjerker.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's sad, but they, you kind of admire the, sort of bloody-minded heroism of it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's maybe sad in the right way. It seems like melancholy.
It's definitely melancholy.
To the max. I've seen clips of it, I've seen a couple edits of it, I've seen a couple of scenes, and it's enough to make me really want to watch the show.
It is fantastic. It is better than any
I've
feature
heard it's
film
really
I've seen
good.
in a long time. So if it were a feature film, it would be Academy Award winning easily.
Yeah, I'm just afraid with Circe that they're gonna be like, yes, time to amp up all of the sex and sexual assault in this.
Oh
It's like,
boy.
no, it's not what I want.
You don't get what you want, Pidge.
Give me a different thing that I would like better.
I liked her. The problem I had with Circe was definitely dealing with the gods directly was really kind of weird. I liked it when once she sort of entered the more mortal world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably,
Agreed.
I'm probably gonna lose these, but I'm gonna have to show. So I'm gonna show them off now.
So, before you depart,
Me?
as
I don't have to depart. Or are you referring to this guy?
this guy,
Okay.
before you depart, as our host here, as travelers, can you tell us of the houses? Who is it here that we should be aware of?
Well, of course. You know what, never mind. He'll start with Ravenkind last. There is Lady Paugor, an ogre. Some sort of experiment, is my understanding. Brutish,
Oh, sorry,
brutal, and
you already put the stuff in
hungry.
the chats.
Hmm?
Sorry, you already put some of the stuff in the chats. I must have been doing something else when he was saying it.
No, I was just posting all these so that I wouldn't
the
forget them
images.
later. Yeah.
Okay. He hasn't actually given us the information in the game,
No.
so good.
Lady Paugor, a vampire ogre. I believe she was some sort of experiment. She is deeply hungry and, as such, possesses the most blood thralls. And, tries to keep her people well fed. Then there is the upstart, Kaicheg. I don't know who let an orc become a vampire, but it was a terrible, terrible mistake. He tarnishes our reputation. He is a beast. Then there is Lord Mirish. Fair and just, but still not as wise as my lord. There is Lady Brownbow. I've heard some rumors about her elven heritage, but nothing I am able to repeat. And then there is, of course, my lord, the most venerable Lord Ravenkind. Regal and supreme among the Bloodlords.
As a arcanist myself, I'm curious, who among them is the master necromancer of this place?
Oh, definitely Lord Ravenkind. He has magics the likes of which you could not understand.
Sense motive.
Good call. I will too.
18.
$36.
Damn. Huh. This guy has more bluff than I was expecting. Do vampires have like a species
Yes.
bonus? Oh. This makes sense now. I couldn't remember if they had a species bonus on bluff.
It's pretty big, and also they generally have big charismas.
Big charisma energy. Anyway, scoobity bop, beep bop, beepity beepity. You get the impression that, although Ravenkind is one of the master magical users, the other sort of human-esque ones probably also have some arcane power. Although Kaicheg, he might be a master of like the old magic. Maybe he and Clementine could have a conversation if you catch my drift.
Hell yeah.
and it seems like some vampiric traditions, like, you realize, like, all of the vampiric traditions, yup, vampires get a +8 racial bonus on bluff, perception, sense motive, and stealth.
Yup.
Yep. Why am I so good at lying?
It's in your blood, kid.
It's in your blood.
And now it's in my blood, too.
So we're gonna let Holt do all the lying for us.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting.
As I think you're the only one who actually has bluff. So.
I think so.
Now hold your horses. I have a bluff.
I mean, but yeah, it's you saying that you have bluff is like me saying that I have knowledge dungeoneering. Yes, I technically have a rank in it, but it shouldn't be counted next to anything Solandra has ranks in.
Right.
I have a.
This
I have
gives
a
me
plus,
an edge.
I have a +2 bluff, so that's something, right?
I mean, you can roll to assist.
I've got a +8.
It becomes
That's
clear that that's cute. It becomes clear that like the notable traditions concerning vampires, weaknesses, and restrictions. Now that you know that there are multiple houses, it leads you to believe that perhaps not all of them are subject to all of the bans. Poor house.
Sorry,
Har-
you're gonna
No, that's fine.
hear a lot of typing.
Yeah. Poor house Har Hall. They didn't deserve what happened to them. I'm just kidding. That's the thing about vampires. They all deserve everything that's going to happen.
Yeah, there's a limit to how much we can get upset about this. I mean, the monsters are calling themselves.
Was that in character?
No, but he doesn't say
Okay.
it out loud. But he's thinking it real hard.
It's in character, he just doesn't say it.
It's in
Right.
character. Gamma gets to hear it.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's one place where there's some intersection between Holt and Solandra. I mean, yeah, sure, Solandra's good, but she's not particularly interested in. Yeah, there's only one vampire who has earned anything from her.
Right.
Or two, actually two.
Right. Yo, Zoltan, what's up?
I forgot about Zoltan for a second.
We love Zoltan.
That being said, everybody make an intelligence check because something this guy said directly contradicts something you've heard in the past.
A 13.
I am just. Let's see. Okay. 25.
25. Holt, were you there when Solandra was talking to Gadra?
That was in the
That was in the tomb.
In the great.
The tomb of
Yeah.
Drax.
Yes, I was.
That's right, you were there. So you and Solandra both remember that she said that she could not rebel against her master. If her master was destroyed, she would die. You get the distinct impression that that wasn't like a figurative, I'll die. That was a literal, I will die. You get the distinct impression that she was not high enough on the ladder to understand that when the master is killed, the thralls are freed, not destroyed.
Huh.
Well, they may be destroyed by others not wanting free-range vampires like roaming around.
Right. And
So,
I mean,
probably the other houses will gather them up and do a little fricassee.
exactly. It becomes I'm sorry, you guys are really smart, so I'm just going to like tell you things that you figure out. Because
I like it.
Yeah, cuz like fuck making you wait. You guys are level 19. You've done this before. You can put 2 and 2 together. You guys are brainstorming and figuring this out. And if you don't talk about it now, you'll talk about it later. I can't record everything. It's assumed you figure this
You're
out at some
expediting the
point.
process.
Right.
It's been like over a year, so What in that conversation did I get a sense of the gender of her creator?
I don't remember.
I don't believe it was mentioned.
Wasn't there a pronoun mentioned, he or she?
I think.
No.
If I had to
there
guess, I
was.
think it was male.
Really? Because I remember it being as female, and that really throws a cog into my plans.
We
I
can always
mean-
retcon it.
You know what?
We can always retcon it, and also, what is gender to a centuries-old being?
What is gender to a vampire? Did you know that Ravenkind was a woman? But call him a him. He likes that. No. You know what? I'm gonna say that she did say she. So that rules out Mirish, Ravenkind, and Kaicheg as being her master. So she either serves Paugur or Brownbow. Kaicheg. He refuses the title of Lord. But right, so it becomes clear that the the masters don't want to let the servants know that if they die, they all go free. Because it's clear, although some of them probably came from the surface, other bloodlords gained their position by when their masters were killed and they were able to avoid being destroyed. And then you spend a long time, turning a bunch of vampires, getting them to make some vampire spawn, getting some zombie allies, building up a supply of blood thralls, and then you march back into... Fuck, I did not write the name of the city down. And you walk back into...
Oh, I did.
Thank you.
Penzance.
Thank you. And then you march back into Penzance with your new noble vampire house, and you say, I'm moving in. And they're like, well, shit. I could wipe you out, but if I tried to wipe you out, I'd expend so many resources that it would make me vulnerable.
Makes me think of one of my favorite all-time Tumblr URLs, which is simply Pyrrhic Comedy.
Good one.
Fucking got him.
Hey, does Clementine have any natural armor?
She has an amulet of natural armor.
Okay, never mind then. That means we all have natural armor, so my potion of bark skin is useless.
Unfortunately. Pour one out for Barkskin.
I mean, don't pour the potion out, that's worth money.
Right.
Yeah.
We can exchange that for goods and services.
Yep.
You'd be dumping gold pieces on the earth and turning something into and giving a bunch of earthworms bark-like complexion. Those early birds are going to be really confused.
Do you want to get purple worms? Because that's how you get purple worms.
Purple worms, bruh. But, yeah. And it seems like the way he refers to things, in terms of age, it goes Ravenkind, Brownbow, Paugor, Mirish, and Kaicheg being the youngest.
I'm only keeping track of the eldest and the youngest.
And Salandra, oh, never mind. Don't worry about it. I was going to reveal something, but it would make no sense for you to know it. Although the thought of an elven vampire does strike you as a little bizarre. Maybe she just didn't want to grow old.
Or maybe she didn't have a whole lot of choice about it.
That's true.
Which I expect applies to a certain amount of them.
Definitely. Although, presumably, there was someone who was created as a vampire who started all this. So there is definitely a way to get turned without being bitten. but knowing what it would mean, who would willingly do that to themselves? Or wish
People
it to be...
desperate for power.
That's true.
Well, obviously someone created a ritual that created a conduit between themselves and the Shadowfell, or even directed the negative plane. Logically, how such a creature could be created.
Or maybe all the way to Ravenloft. But who would do something so stupid? It's okay, guys. I'm just going to touch the world of Ravenloft. And I have an unfathomable bloodlust.
No poke.
Well, if you have Ravenloft, then you can have Strahd, the first vampire.
Oh, yeah. Ravenloft definitely exists in this cosmology.
Sweet.
I mean, none of you are ever going to go there. And
At least not in this
fucking
game.
hope not.
yeah, no, like, welcome to the multiverse. All things are possible. And because this, oh man, you know what? I'm making it canon. My world, my rules. Because in my setting, the Magic the Gathering planes are also in existence. The Ravenloft is right next to the Dark Baronies, and they both somehow absorb some sort of dark power that is endemic to their cosmological position. Or maybe it's Ravenloft that radiates it. Who knows?
Before he goes, I do have one other question.
Yes,
You seem
what
to be
now?
Kacheg, this orc abomination. That sounds like just an insane idea. How common is it for creatures like orcs and half-orcs to become like you?
I mean, just as likely as anyone else. Someone who requires a brute or brute effort would definitely turn to turning an ogre or an orc or a half orc. But how it is that he became Bloodlord? Well, I mean, sometimes an orc's ambition outstrips their ability.
Are there any in your house?
Orcs? Oh yes, but none of such a dignified position, and he revels in his savagery. They do their best to cover theirs up. They understand Lord Ravenkind's demeanor, position, his panache.
I've heard that from time to time the half-orcs can have considerable intellect, but I haven't run into any myself.
Neither have I.
All right, I'm doing a sense motive on him.
Go for it.
You know what I'm digging for.
Yes.
And that is a 35.
He seems to be telling the truth. He might be an exceptionally skilled liar, although that doesn't seem to be the case. Either that, or he honestly has no idea about Gadra. But Salandra, considering the assignment that she was sent on, the other Bloodlords might not know what's happening.
Oh, I know. I recognize it, but I was curious if I can get a lead. Have we passed any pools of water? Natural pools of water in the Underdark?
You have not.
Oh, monster, that's not you yelling.
No, it's not. It's Cortana.
Ah.
She's yelling at me specifically. I think she's looking for Reese.
Oh. Reese
Once
will be home
he's-
soon, baby.
Did the rest of you guys have anything else to say to this guy?
Nothing at all.
Nope.
I'm just standing there and looking scary.
But I am waiting for him to leave rather than leaving.
ourselves. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he boogies on out of there, goes over to the tavern, and disappears from this story for the foreseeable future.
Let's step away from your friend over there,
Hmm.
just in case. Clem,
Wise.
do you? Oh, Holt, here, take this.
Hmm?
I hand him a vial.
Oh.
Might come in handy. It's a potion of non-detection.
Oh, very handy.
Yeah, it protects you from divination. So, in other words, while you're under that effect, you will not. No one will be able to scry at you or uh, sense you in other ways.
Thanks.
Yeah, I have it. I have it from other means now. Clem, do you have scrying now? Speaking of divination.
I mean, I can, but we might be hard pressed to find a pool of water unless anyone's objecting to scrying in a puddle of piss on the ground. That works too.
Wouldn't be the first time. Given who I wanted to scry on, I'd rather it not be that because it seems sort of disrespectful. But it's time we find out where Gadra is. We need a
That's a
lead.
good idea.
We don't have any leads. So we know we're supposed to be down here, but we have no fucking clue which, if not all of these houses are involved in this.
Well, finding her would give us an idea.
Could be any of them or could be all of them. And if it's all, we're kind of screwed.
If it's all, then we need to seriously reevaluate what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he would have been any challenge for us, but
It represents something bigger.
the problem is going to be, of course, that when he gets back to his lord, he's going to tell them he met strange travelers on the road and give them our descriptions. And since we didn't fucking disguise ourselves, being the brilliant aces at everything we are, well, we're getting to be pretty well known. Our descriptions will be known. So, our window for surprise is fucking fading fast. Unless we can get him to drink something that will keep him under for quite a while.
What do you mean? What would put him under? He doesn't sleep.
Oh, I'm thinking like maybe mercy or something like that. Would probably not work too well with him. Compassion.
I mean, the effects
Kindness.
are temporary.
Oh yeah, but on a vampire, I suspect that a good drink of kindness would really fuck them up for a long time.
That's true. If you just like poured a whole bottle of kindness down his throat, it would.
He'd probably end up vomiting outside the alleyway.
Vomit with what? Vomit what out?
Blood.
Fair enough.
He'd be essentially like Angel was before he rehabilitated himself to go hang out with Buffy.
Who would
Guilty about even eating the rats.
Who would curse a mirror on a man without a face?
Meow!
Oh, poor creature.
Cordy! Come here. I'll give you love and affection if you just come over here. No? Okay. Alright. Carry on.
About to say, what's the plan, folks?
Let's see if we can find some water. I mean, we haven't passed any pools of water at all in the Underdark.
Not this way. You've got to understand, Dave, when it comes to vampires, water is a liability.
That's true.
Yeah, they'd want to settle as far away from running waters.
Exactly. Settle away
Okay,
from
hey.
or divert as much as they could.
Hey, can prestidigitation create water?
It cannot.
Hmm.
Also, you can't use a pool of created water to scry.
Yeah, because I've got create water. I just don't.
That being said, if you got a bunch of people to piss into like a bucket, that would work. But
Holt
you
gets out his ever-flowing mug.
but you would need a lot of piss.
So much piss.
Like so much piss. Do you know how long it would take for you to fill up a swimming pool if you spat into it? Thousands of years.
So Clem, you can only scry on water. You can't do it in crystal or anything else.
Sorry.
Druids.
That being
Right?
said, if she scribed a scroll, which she doesn't have the skills to do, Salandra, you could use a spellcraft roll to morph the druid scrying spell into a different school of magic scrying spell. Hey, Dad,
That is such a roundabout way.
Right? Hey, Dad, how's that research on the spaceship coming along? Well, it's going all right, but I got the translator to speak another language I don't understand.
All right, so we could use a scrying spell and a contact other planes spell to get some answers. Unless you do you have any way of getting divine or whatever the fuck it is information, Clem, from your genius looking?
Not really.
Hmm.
Sorry.
Okay. Let me just check.
Oh, huh, what do you know? Vampire spawn are supposed to be able to assume a gaseous form. Fuck that, later.
Fuck that noise.
Be gone. That being said, a vampire spawn casts no shadows and shows no reflections in a mirror.
Huh. Alright.
Classic vampire shit.
And are also, because they are spawned, subject to all vampiric weaknesses.
That makes sense.
Little baby.
And, it says that they don't die at 0 hit points, but I'm saying that vampire spawn do die at 0 hit points.
This makes sense.
That being said, greater vampires, it's tricky. And of course, vampire lords, I'm just saying, you're in a lot. Cut off the head, throw the body into holy water, fill the head's mouth with holy wafers, and then throw the head in. In that order, if you do it wrong, it comes back. Anyway, what's next on the docket, folks?
Well, we can. No.
What, Dave?
I'm just checking to see how much certain spells cost.
Mm.
A scroll of greater scrying. Do you have greater scrying?
I do. I've got regular scrying and greater scrying.
And you can't use a silver mirror, huh?
Nope.
Nope. Oh, damn it.
Where does it say how much these things cost, Ronald?
Scrolls?
Yeah.
You'd have to look up the scrolls cost page. and it's based on the spell of the caster who made it, but just use the lowest caster level necessary to cast a spell of that level.
Oof.
Oh,
So we need 2 for greater scrying. It would be 2,275 plus 1,000 for a silver mirror, and then for regular scrying, it's just 700.
sounds about right.
All right, let's use a little bit of our remaining saved resources to get some of the stuff.
Sounds good.
All right, let's use the music box. Contact the consortium. Once we're kind of out of, do it when we're somewhere that's a little bit
More
protected.
secluded.
Yeah.
Cap, what does that mean?
I don't know, but I like it.
I don't know. My interpretation of that is like, it doesn't work. Just like,
Yeah, that's exactly it.
oh, you thought you could prevent it from getting inside. Good one.
Good one.
Anyway, so you guys move out of town a little bit. You
Actually,
guys-
can we use rope trick to?
I was about to
get-
ask that.
Yeah.
Would that break the fabric of reality?
No, you could contact the consortium inside the rope trick, but you can't scry from inside the rope trick.
That's fair.
Yep.
So you guys create a rope trick, climb up, contact the consortium. Let me roll a D100. Wheel of Morality. Turn, turn, turn. What is the lesson that we must learn?
Oh, actually, while we're doing this, why don't we just sell the crap from the ranger?
Okay, so the crap from the ranger is... Do... 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 Do...
Ooh, I like it.
Oh my god, she's pretty.
Yes, thank you for contacting the consortium. How can I assist you?
We have some purchases and we have some things we'd like to unload.
Fantastic.
Have I seen this chick before? She looks familiar.
Nope. She is not one of the wizards you have contacted before. You can calculate the value of all those items, and then instead of cutting them in half, cut them by 60%.
Okay.
Because you're getting a markdown, and that is what you get in exchange. And you know whatever you purchase is at a 10% markup.
Are you doing that calculation?
Yeah, I
Sam?
will. Unless you think you can do it faster.
Yeah. Well, it's math, so it's possible.
Allow me.
Yeah.
I've got the charts open.
What sort of school of scrying spell do you want?
Well, one where I can use, silver mirror instead of the.
So that would mean that you want right. So that would mean that
Arcane.
you want an arcane school.
Wizard is closest to my particular discipline.
Got it. Because I think so bards need the mirror, clerics and oracle need a pool of holy water, but they can make it. They just have to sanctify it. Druids need natural, shamans need natural, sorcerers and wizards need the mirror, and a witch can choose either a natural pool of water or use the silver mirror. Do you
Actually,
do you
Witch,
need-
Witch is very close to Salandra's Hexcrafter, so Witch is probably the very closest to her discipline in some ways.
Got it. She is also a witch, and so she inscribes a scroll of scrying or greater scrying.
Get one of each, and then maybe a contact other planes.
Oh, very well then. Do you require the silver mirror to go along with them?
Yes.
Very well then. What does that come to, Dave?
It should be 2275 plus 700 plus 1125, right? So that's 3400 plus 700 is 4100 plus 1000 for the mirror is 5100 plus 510. So 5610.
Done.
Where's my phone for calculator?
Do our the things we're selling add
Cover
up?
that? Yeah, I believe so.
Oh yeah.
Actually, should I have just gotten a crystal ball?
How much does a crystal ball cost?
Oh no. It's fine. Or is there a scrying mirror?
A crystal ball
Oh.
costs 42,000 gold pieces.
Yeah, it's a little more expensive.
Jesus.
And it could be outfitted with seeing visibility, telepathy, true seeing, and detect thoughts.
Yeah, but a will DC 13. Come on.
Yeah, it's meant to be used on like super NPCs.
Yeah.
And the
Imagine trying to use that with.
and the DC for the ball is DC 16.
We paid 10,840 gold pieces for those items.
Ooh, basic fortune telling methods.
How much was what you purchased?
5610. 5610.
Okay.
Ooh, discern location. That's a powerful spell.
Yes, it is.
Locate object.
30.
Is there a locate person?
I mean, discern location works on people. You learn the exact
8th level.
location of a single object, individual or object. And it circumvents normal means of protection from scrying or location. It
Alright,
also
so
works
that
across
one-
planes.
The only problem with that one is it's an 8th level spell, and that's what is the failure? What will I need to roll for that to work?
28.
You need to roll a 28.
28. So I have means I need to get 12 or better. Pretty unlikely. Or
But what level spells can you cast?
I can cast 6 level spells.
Okay, so reduce the DC by 6. Because it's only 2 levels beyond your ability.
Ah, I see.
That seems fair to me. Because it doesn't seem sensible that the DC is 28 just because you don't know 8th level spells. Like, you've come this far. You just can't do it by rote.
Yeah, with my spellcraft too. But,
Right. Because, like, if you were an 8th level spellcaster, you wouldn't even need to roll. You just use the scroll and it works. But why
I'm
would
just
you have a
looking to
scroll so that you don't use up spell slots, silly?
16.
That being said, before y'all perpetrate any scrying or discerning of location, I'm going to call this here.
Oh man.
So 9,900.
8th level spells cost 3,000.
Mm-hmm. So y'all get 5,000 experience points for overcoming your spookfulness of saloon music.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
It was scary.
I didn't
Yeah.
listen to the recording.
I thought it was gonna be like an eerie, creepy thing.
While we have the consortium here, I have a proposition
Oh boy.
that I discuss with Solandra the possibility of putting this on my shield.
A medieval frog?
Mind buttressing.
Mind buttressing.
You said buttress.
You're fired.
+2 resistance to will saves and renders the wearer immune to possession and mental control.
Hey!
That seems a wise choice.
It would cost 9,900. Because my shield's already a +4, and the 7,000 that we got from the
Well,
drow plus.
we shouldn't use the money from the drow. We can use the cash. We have money.
Oh, do we
should
still?
use
We
it.
do still have consortiums.
We have quite a
Okay,
bit of
great.
consortium. Yeah.
Also,
We shouldn't put it.
It's gonna cost you 22,000.
Oh, I thought it was the difference between the two.
Yeah, the difference between a +4 and a +6 is 20,000.
Oh. Oh, right. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I know you're gay and bad at math.
So
Right.
we should spend the additional 3,300 for that locates
Discern
spell.
location.
Discern location spell. That will give us a good amount of divination magic.
All right, give me a second. I'm gonna go turn the lights on in my spooky room. My door just closed on its own.
I was looking at the total
But it's not
ones.
actually
I am
on
so
its own.
embarrassed.
It's because I have a fan in the window and the fan blew the door shut. Happens all the time. But it's all dark in my room, so it's spooky.
I thought I was doing so well. I'm a fucking idiot.
It is okay.
Yeah, not really.
I couldn't have remotely done that math. I was like, don't make me do that math.
All right, so you get the shield mind buttressed.
Oh, where's the consortium funds? Oh God, we do have enough.
Let's say
That's
you
great.
guys have lots.
Yeah. I'm wondering if I should get the Deathless enchantment added to my armor.
It's really good. You should do it.
Yeah, that might be useful given where we are.